Good morning, folks. Today we're gonna make an update video on this Chinese diesel heater running on oil. I just quickly wanted to film this because it started acting weird last night. I'm using it to heat my car 12 hours a night, so it lasted bit more than 3 nights. I mean, it's still working. We're on setting 2 Hertz. We're at 5 of the 6 heat bars, but it started acting kind of weird. I don't know if you can hear that sound, and dripping oil out of the intake tube. Doesn't really matter because I put a jar and this box thing underneath to catch it all. I also got some more updates on my pump and display, so let's see and take it apart. At first I'm gonna get it out of this entire contraption, and then we're gonna go inside and take it apart, have a look what it's looking inside. I designed it to be pretty simple to take out, so all I have to do is wiggle on the exhaust. Let's have a look in there. I don't know if you can see it or not. No, probably not. It looks pretty clean, actually, surprisingly clean. As the next step, we're gonna take off this cap. As you can see, I have taped it about, what is it? Not a bit more than half. Oh, half is this, and then one more strap tape, because I'm running it at a pretty low setting to heat up my car. So then let me take out the motherboard. For that, I take out the screw. Take off all the 3 plugs. And just throw it out. Next, we need to unplug the fuel. That's pretty simple with this setup. You just put it up and it slides right out. I've got no screws in there, so it's way simpler to get apart. Okay, in here you can already see it's oily. There's also an oily mess all around. So, this heater ran for approximately 40 hours now on 50-50 diesel and waste oil. In the exhaust port, you can kind of see. No, not really, but we're gonna have a look inside soon. It ran about 40 hours on 50-50 on setting 2 Hertz. I discovered some settings for this heater where we can get way more heat out of it than before, but now let me just get it all inside and we're gonna have a look inside. So now we're inside, and I also brought a light. You can see inside the exhaust port for once. Maybe. Oh, you can see some of the crud in there. Well, we're gonna clean it all out now. But first, we're just gonna undo those 4 Allen bolts. Again, we ran about 40 hours. In the last 2 weeks, I got several problems. My entire electrical stuff decided to die on me, part by part. At first, the motherboard died, or the display, I'm not really sure. And then I had one of these installed. As you can see, This is the new type controller with the H settings and not the secret menu. It did kind of work in alpine mode for me, but it was putting out very low amounts of heat and kind of setting up very quickly. So I ordered a new one and it arrived. Now I've got it installed. Some viewers asked me about some measurements of the heater inside, things that I changed. I'm gonna measure it out in a second, but at first let's clean it up piece by piece so we don't make a giant mess when putting it back together. So these nice in here. I don't know if you can see. Let me get the light again. And here you can see it's black down there and oily. So I think we need to change the wire mesh, which wouldn't be too bad, I guess. I mean, it ran 40 hours very fine. Take out those two screws. Now take out the glow plug. I haven't had it out for a pretty long time because I was just only changing the mesh. It looks, focus. There you go. It looks pretty clean. You can go over it with a wire brush real quick. So this looks fine. Now the big reveal. Get this out. Oh, that is looking bad. That's looking really, really bad. As you can see, it's all shiny and oily mess. And it smells. But inside the heater is even worse. Got a lot of this black cruddy stuff floating around. Well, after all, the heat exchange doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna clean it out anyways. So let me start with the heat exchanger. For this, I normally take a toothbrush and start at the exhaust. But it seems to be thick, sludgy stuff that doesn't want to come off with the help of a toothbrush. Oh, well, inside here at least, pretty loose. Just carbon. this trash can. Quite a bit, but not too much. I've seen worse. Now, let me have a look inside a burn chamber. That's interesting. Where did I put my flashlight? There it is. Inside the burn chamber, you can see this one spot down there, right there. That's kind of interesting. And the bag, obviously, just climbed up there and started it all up. So now we're gonna get this tool and pull out the mesh. Oh, that's tight in there. That's really tight. Well, I can see the problem. I put some stainless steel mesh in there, and as you can see right there, it burned away. It just burned away. So let me just take this saw to get this crud out of there. It's really hard stuff. I'll be right back. Screwdriver. So here we go again. Now with the help of a screwdriver, I should be able to just pry it all out of there. At least I think. It's hard stuff. I haven't had this in a while. And I have to admit, I'm burning pretty dirty oil. You can see one of these chunks. Really big, hard kind of stuff. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's kind of messy. Now I'm gonna put out this. Here you can see this one chunk from the inside of the burn chamber. That's pretty soft carbon. Works fine. Now this part, same procedure, just scraping it all off. And putting a new mesh in. That should solve all of our problems. I mean, it still ran pretty fine, but one of these 6 bars of heat disappeared. So I thought it would be a great time to make a video on it. go. All of these slots are clear again. It's not perfect, but you said it would be. And it really doesn't have to be if I'm gonna take it apart in a few days anyways. I'm gonna wipe off some of the oil at least. Also on the inside. That wasn't planned. Let's have a look at this wire mesh thing. It looks pretty bad actually. I am just going to burn off that real quick. And for that we're going to use this saw because I don't care if it gets damaged or not or whatever. I'm going to put it on there. Now I'm going to place you in front of the door like this so you can see what I'm doing here. Taking a gas stove, just a camping stove kind of thing. Just holding it in there. You probably want to let it burn until it's glowing red. Should be good enough. It's looking way better. Probably can't see it really well, but we're gonna have a look at it with the help of the light in a second. So you can see through the pores of it again. I'm just scratching it a bit with my wire brush right here. Simply to make sure that any remaining grout gets just simply out of this thing. And now, if we shine a light at it, we can see through it again. That's pretty important part. Now we're gonna, you have to push it in as far as possibly, because it has to clear the little inlet hole at the top. So you want to push it down till it seats down there. You can see the top of the mesh. It is this one right there. Because this hole in the burn chamber is the ignition hole, and you want air to be able to flow over it into the burn chamber. So, one viewer asked me the dimensions of the cut right here. So I can say that you have to go from this edge right here, from this edge, and then approximately 2 to 3 millimeters, and then cut. Be careful around this area because there's not much material before you get into this tubing where the glow plug sits. You don't want to damage it. I cut a bit too flush on some spots. That's why you can see this round plate thing in the middle. But it seems to work out so far. Just take a Dremel tool or a hacksaw. I actually use the Dremel tool around this area of the glow plug because you can attack it at an angle, and the other way around I just took a simple hacksaw and cut it. So, another one of you asked me about the wire mesh I'm using. So far I've tried 2 different types. The first one you can buy in such rolls is this very, very fine wire mesh. Hope you can see it. Very fine. You can see my hand through it, but you really can't see that it's a mesh. The other thing I've tried, and that worked okay so far, I haven't tried it too much, is this more coarse kind of wire mesh. This is just some bug screen you can buy for your windows on eBay. It's important to not buy the aluminum one, but to buy the stainless steel one, so it lasts the longest. As you saw in here, even the stainless steel one only lasted 3 days and then it burned through. But if you buy a roll of it 1 meter by 2 meters in size, it will last you a very long time. For the length, you need to go almost all the way around, but not entirely. You want to leave a gap of about 20 millimeters or 2 centimeters, which is this much probably, around the glow plug, so the heat and the heated gas for the ignition can simply just rise out of it. Now I just cut a piece that size approximately. This is the depth of the burn chamber from here to this metal plate in there, and the size around determines the length of this piece. So you want it pretty flush to the top and just put it in there so you can see my glow plug hole. Oh yeah, now you can see it. My glow plug hole is right there. It's free, and all the way around the other side is where the mesh sits. So that's basically it. Now you can, in theory, just put it together again. I am also going to clean it up a bit to get rid of this oil so it doesn't smell too much in the car later on. with. Then around is the saw. As you see, I use the saw for almost every task on this diesel heater. And I'm just gonna clean the exhaust a bit more. As you can see, got some more of this gunk out. Now inside here, all around, I'm gonna clean with a towel. Doesn't really matter if it's perfectly clean or not, or whatever. But we want it kind of clean. Now, just insert the burn chamber again, without a gasket in my case. This gasket down there between the heat exchanger and the burn chamber is not really that important, because in the end this entire cabinet is pressurized, because the blower wants to push the air in there. And right in the the burn chamber is anyways connected to this chamber via these slots in that part. So now just put it back together, place it in there, take my 2 screws, hold it down with the wire. If you didn't see the first part, I'm going to show it to you in a second. In here you can see I just bend the wire around and hold it down by those 2 screws of the burn chamber. I'm missing those 2. They're laying back there somewhere. Well, you can probably already imagine I set my heater up to be easily serviceable. I mean, not using this gasket, using only 2 screws. I'm not telling that you should do it, because it could potentially be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. But I feel pretty safe with how I do it. You have to just know for yourself. I can't tell you. Now I'm gonna put in the glow plug, and that's also a thing. You don't have to over tighten this glow plug. It just needs to be slightly seated. It's not gonna go anywhere. If you turn on the heater, it's not gonna magically screw out this glow plug. Now I'm gonna clean off the case a bit, get rid of the oily stuff. And then we're already ready again to put it back together. Yeah, we're gonna see each other outside again to put this heater together. So now we're outside again. I'm simply gonna put on this gasket once again, put on the top piece. This one I actually screw down with 4 bolts because I don't want any oil to get through this gasket slot and into my fresh air supply, because that would be, let's say like this, it smells like shit. Also I put a new fuel filter in there, because my old one was the provided one with the heater, the one with the mesh. It might work fine if you use diesel in your heater, but if you're using stuff like I do, probably want to upgrade your filter, because my old one kind of didn't filter it enough. So I ended up destroying my fuel pump, actually, because that's the reason why you may have noticed already. My fuel pump is oriented another way, and it's just another one. Still a 22 milliliter pump, the cheapest one I could find on Amazon. But and yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna wipe off this plate a bit. Place the heater in its casing like this, and now just wiggle it in, just like that. And now for the final part, put on this fuel line again. So, next we take the motherboard, put it down there, place it in its slot on the side. Like this, plug in the motor, plug in the heat sensor, and put it all together again. Click the screw for the motherboard. I just put it in like maybe 2 turns or 3, just barely to keep it straight. Like this. And now just putting on the exhaust again. That. So 2 final pieces. Top of it like this, and the end cap. If it wants to go on. Now we need to. I put the display in a plastic bag so it's secured of the weather a bit better. Now we need to prime the pump. You probably won't be able to see it, but I'm pressing OK and the down one. Well, I'm not. Just take off power for a second so you can reboot, because it got an error code because we took it apart. Lots of because. So now gonna press the bottom and OK, and then there's H off. Gonna click it to on and just let it prime for a few seconds. That's good enough. Now if you go to the secret menu with the code 16, oh no, I messed up, 1688. My new settings are, probably won't be able to see it, so I'm just gonna tell you. The low frequency is 1.5 Hertz. The high frequency is 5.4 Hertz. The minimum RPM are 1680 RPMs. And the maximum is 4500. Then I put it to 12 volt, obviously. SN1, PF6. PF6 is the power mode of the glow plug. 6 is the highest, so it will even start in very cold conditions. Yeah, that's basically it for this video. Later on I might make a startup video, but I'm not sure about that yet. You will see. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about a heater or another project of mine, just type me in the comment section down below. I'm willing to take support by you guys if you know something better than I do. And yeah, we will see each other in the next one. Have a good one.